Kia ora, bros! Here we are again. We got Nation Wars. Alright, we are going to be watching the United Kingdom, which is half APM, up against the Aussies. Oi, oi, oi. Of course, we got Raxel here from APM. Akile, or however the hell you say his name. I've asked 100 times and I'll always get it wrong. Axolotl and Praetor. Very good team in general. Looks like Praetor's having a little bit of a lag issue. We do have Cortex Commander, Armada Commander in the sea, and Cortex Commander. So looks like we're going to be seeing Sea Lab, a Bot Lab, and 2 batteries for now. And we'll keep our eye on what they're up to. And for the Aussies, we've got ourselves an Armada Commander as a Avenger K. Gurn? How's it Gurn? Something like that. These guys look like they are playing on a English server. 330 ping for the Aussies. Bad luck. Silver Sun and Black Vortex. So yeah, 2 Cortex in the top and 2 Armadas in the bottom. We're going to be having Armada C for both teams. Avenger K up against Axolotl here. We do actually have a Cortex C lab going down as well. Okay, so 3 labs for the blue team and just the 2 labs for the red team here. There we go, we'll make sure that music's not too loud. It's probably too quiet for you guys. Okay, con turret going down for Raxel. Slider gaming going for everybody. Akile with the slider a little bit high it seems, but maybe he wants that for the D guns. Oh, it looks like he is saving it for the D guns. Raxel struggling to get the energy he needs. Wind is trolling a little bit and it is only going down. Alright, Akile is going to be doing a little bit of micro on the ground front. Axolotl is giving the boats over to Praetor. And Praetor's going to be going to scout this northern side. So he is going to spot Black Vortex's lab. And Avenger is going to get away with a little bit extra time to expand with the double cons, as you can see down there. Silver Sun walking towards the front. So it'll be Silver Sun up against Akile. He is actually going to be reclaiming these trees with a resbot. Probably a wise choice considering the wind is on the lowest it can possibly be on. Titles are quite nice on this map. You can see a few titles here out for Axolotl. His slider gaming is very heavily down, which is surprising considering he controls one of the labs. I'll probably have that slider a little bit higher as a guy who has a lab. Looks like a first con does go down to a Dolphin. These 2 Dolphins going to be making their way towards Black Vortex's lab. His commander probably could have boosted this out, but it does look like it is going to get out. He's going to try and get a D-gun off. Does just catch the back end of that Dolphin. The second Dolphin manages to get in behind the lab. The commander's going to maybe out-repair him. Destroyer, the Riptide. A little bit of friendly fire on that lab. I think this lab's going to survive. It looks like he will indeed survive. And that Dolphin will go down, but it will distract Black Vortex a little bit here. Alright, looks like the ground forces are about to come into battle. There is a, frigate. Assault frigate out for Praetor there. And APM taking the map control to start with. Economically, they're fairly even. But of course they're going to be, it's only 3.5 minutes into the game. There's not a lot of difference you can really have at this point in the game. No Geos going down for anybody just yet. I don't see. Yeah, no Geos going down for anybody just yet. Maybe it's a little bit early. That wind is nice and high, so it would be an opportune time to go for that Geo. Geos, of course, do cost a little bit of energy. So you got to make sure you can have that energy in the bank or, a decent income to build those Geos. A little bit of a throwaway here from Akile. And those grunts go down for no value at all. I don't think they killed a single thug. I think they killed 3 grunts, sorry, from the Silver Sun player. But the mistake here is going for thugs and mass grunts up against a boat map. So once the front line's established, these boats are basically all you need. The ground units are a hefty investment. We're up to almost 1,000 metal in ground units that are basically going to get no value as far as I can tell. Maybe they'll be able to find a gap to slip by, but I highly doubt it. Alright, we do have rocket bots coming out for APM, so maybe I am wrong and you do get ground units on this map. Personally, I probably wouldn't, but we'll see what happens here. Alright, the southern side of the sea for Avenger is looking pretty healthy right now. Praetor is going to be going up against the units from Black Vortex. Having 2 sea labs is going to be very nice for the Australians here. You know, it's going to allow them to pump out units a lot quicker. We do have a 4th lab going down, and it's an Armada bot lab. Alright, the Geo is about to be built, and the Commander is going to assist the bot doing it for the Australians, which is a really nice play. The wind is looking very, very healthy right now. Air Lab is coming out for APM. I don't know if he's going to go Scouts or Shurikens or what, but that Air Lab is going to be crucial in helping those sea lanes. Especially your fucking Raxel down here. He's got no units, and they're really going to have to try and penetrate Avengers' side of the map from the northern side. The good thing is APM, or sorry, the UK, I should stop calling them APM, it's only half APM. The UK do control the strait here, and that's going to allow them easy access to all lanes. Raxel's commander does survive to fight another day because all these units are going to be pulled back to fight these destroyers that are slipping on through for a kill. And Praetor is just in a little bit of a battle up here, you know, stuck in this choke point. As long as he keeps Black Vortex there, it does allow the United Kingdom to have that map control. If we zoom out, we do see that the battle lines are pretty much drawn here. Avenger's going to probably take out this entire southern side, and that's really going to even up the map control. If anything, it's going to give the Australians a much stronger map control. It's going to look something like this. Which does give the Australians a little bit more map control. They do lose the mixes back here, but they should be fairly easy to rebuild eventually. Whereas these guys are going to have a bit more trouble rebuilding down here. Do they spot these planes? No, they do not spot the planes yet. Aircons are out for the UK. Economically, we're looking at that Geo coming up for these guys. We got converters going down for Avenger right now. Oh, the commander didn't assist the Geo. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that was a misclick somehow. I'm not sure what the plan was there for Gurn. Alright, these units here. 1.3k metal in units, not doing a whole lot. Meanwhile, over here we got 660 metal in units, not doing a whole lot. Yeah, I think both teams building these ground units are more for just in case, you know, a little bit of redundancy built in here, but I feel like they could have got a little bit more of an economic lead by not building these units. Of course, sea map, as I said, if you control the sea, like, the ships just absolutely dominate any equivalent of ground units. T1 ships just destroy T1 ground units any day of the week. Avenger K has a nice healthy army here on the southern side of the map. They do have full control of the southern sea. Raxel does have a nice radar up for vision. The United Kingdom slowly pushing towards Black Vortex here. It looks like he's losing this northern battle, and Avengers having trouble trying to support him because he's going to have to go through this central position. It looks like that's what he's gearing up to do right now. Alright, what do we have back here? We have still no Geo. Oh, there's one Geo up here for Raxel down here for the United Kingdom. Second Geo is not up. Don't look like they're building too much. They're just getting as much sea as they can, trying to win that sea battle. Down goes Black Vortex, and Praetor's going to win this northern battle now. And that means that Avenger needs to move sooner rather than later. So he's going to take this fight. And this fight might not be the best choice because, you know, it's hard. He really wants to come through to support his homeboy because they are going to lose this northern side. It's kind of going to even up the map control. Avenger K is commander walking, getting those mixes, so he's trying to decide whether he wants to take this battle and possibly support the northern side, or just forfeit that northern side and reinforce the southern side that they're on. So we can see his indecision here. He's just slowly sort of tickling his way forward, but I assume once these units come, he's going to start retreating. Okay. Avenger K is still walking, building those mixes. It looks like Praetor is going to reclaim that commander and start walking forward as well. Do we have T2 coming out for anybody, or is it just, no, it's just destroyers on repeat for now. The UK team is just trying to win this naval battle right now. Alright, both Geos are up for the Australian team. You can see economically, the United Kingdom team has pulled significantly ahead right now. They're about 4,000 metal ahead, and energy produced, they're, you know, 100,000-ish ahead. Energy excess, they're actually fairly even. Not a lot of energy excess for either team right now, but United Kingdom are winning this so far as I can tell. Shurikens are going to come out. There's a decent amount of AA here, so the Shurikens won't get a lot of value. Rocketbot's coming to assist. The Rocketbot's not going to really add a lot to this battle, but you can see there's a lot of destroyers here for the United Kingdom. Praetor is slowly pushing. He's just just winning, slow but steady, winning this sea battle here, and the center is holding strong for the United Kingdom. So I don't know what the Australians are going to plan here. They have seen the air lab, and they haven't really done a whole lot in reaction to it. They're dropping some chainsaws, or a chainsaw, and some nettles to try and protect their key positions. I feel like an air lab would be a lot better. There's the air lab dropping now, so they're going to be able to get some fighters out. Luckily, the United Kingdom didn't go for a bombing run. Raxel doesn't really have a whole lot of metal to work with right now. Everything they've got is going into building those sea units, and the army value is a very telling story right now. That army value is heavily in favor of the United Kingdom, and the Australians are going to need to do something to pull this back, but I just don't know what it's going to be. Looks like Gurn, I don't know how to say his name, is going to try and do a bit of a comm walk towards the Geo. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a feed. He doesn't have a lot of energy. Cloak walking is absolute insanity at this point in the game. He's going to just stay here. He is under the radar, so they do see that it is a commander. So a couple of LLTs here are going to be more than enough to stop him from doing what he's doing. He might actually, if he has enough energy, get away with getting a fair amount of damage done, but he does decide better of it and falls on back. Alright, let's check out the action here. It's just going to be destroyer on destroyer crime. Akele is walking towards the center. He is cloak walking as well. Not sure why. I'm pretty sure the commander can D-gun in this central position. Or maybe it's just slightly too high. Down goes, was that Praetor? Praetor's commander goes down. He doesn't really have the units he needs. I feel like some of these units in the center from the UK could have come north and just fully crushed this position, got all the reclaim, and then evened up the map control. Shurikens are out for the Australians, and they are actually getting value because there's no AA here for the UK. Here come the fighters, though. They're going to clear those Shurikens out, no problem. And they basically, yeah, got air control. There's a lot of anti-air here for the United Kingdom. Just static anti-air. They do get the scout off on that. I mean, I don't see T2 or anything from the UK. I feel like the UK could have easily transitioned by now. They have such an insane army value advantage. Axolotl slowly pushing with those rocket bots. There is a Warden up, which is going to put a stop to that push. Resbot's out for the blue team, for Avenger. Trying to win this central channel battle now. But yeah, he's really struggling to get through there. UK really dividing their forces up. Much less so than the Australians. Australians have most of their forces just here, whereas the UK are splitting, and they're not really winning either battle for now. There's a fair amount of reclaim to be won here as well. Looks like Praetor's about to roll over this position. There's not really a lot here defending, so eventually he is going to win this battle. There's no res subs here, which is a bit of a misplay in my opinion, but they'll get there eventually. There's the T2 transition. First bot is coming out now, and what are they going to be going for? Geos or Mexes? Straight into metal extractors first. They still don't have their second Geo. Meanwhile, the Australians are just building thugs on repeat and ships on repeat from both lanes. Praetor does win this northern battle now. I do have to say, this is mostly 40 OS up against mostly 20 OS. So very, very significant OS diff at the moment, but this is just small teams. Looks like Commander's going to pop right on top of their energy storages. So 2 E-stores go down for that Commander. Really nice pick up there for Praetor. And this looks like the beginning of the end for the Australians. This middle battle is slowly turning in their favor, but now that Praetor doesn't have to worry about this northern side, both of these armies can link up and you know, use their significant army value advantage to overwhelm this southern army. Looks like Garen does actually get the comm walk. He gets some nice D-guns off, clears the anti-radar, clears the Geo. Misses some significant D-guns on a single Fiend. Oh no. Bad luck there for him. Ends up donating his commander, takes out a con turret, which is kind of nice. I think it basically paid for itself, but I feel like that could have been slightly better. But not too bad considering the situation he was in. But the T2 being out for the UK team. that medal donation is actually going to pay for those mixes, and then they can go straight into the AGO whenever they like. I'm surprised they're not going for the AGO right now, to be honest. They have no geos up. Middle battle's still raging. Looks like Praetor's not actually going to come middle. He's just going to use his harassment here to keep the Australians from reclaiming this commander, and just, you know, destroy these reinforcements that are heading towards the center. Thugs versus rocket bots. The 2 wardens are more than enough to stop these rocket bots. I think the thugs are a little overkill, but I guess they just don't want the United Kingdom to get a foothold on this land area. We do have shurikens out. There is a commander here and air right behind it. Yeah, Praetor's just going to be applying pressure here, and this does not look great. What the heck? For the Australian team. Here comes the normal Geo, interestingly enough. No AGO. Very surprised about that. No AGO for the United Kingdom. Still got 1 Geo up for the Australians. They're not really doing a whole lot economically, but they're sort of, you know, pigeonholed into a corner here. They're going to go T2C first, the safest of their mixes by the looks of it, and that's going to allow them to apply more pressure on the ocean. Considering they've lost the whole northern side. It's not too significant that they've lost this whole northern side. I'm very surprised they haven't sent anything over here to just harass the same way that the United Kingdom are, but I think they're very, very worried about losing this channel. If they lose this little channel here, then the game is basically lost. So it's all up to Achille to, you know, break this position, or just wait for Raxel to economy up and win with some sort of bombing run, or some sort of T2 ground force. And it looks like they're going to be going for a T2 ground force. Mass Sheldons, classic Cortex play, or maybe only 5 Sheldons, which is, you know, enough Sheldons just to apply that pressure and force a response out of the Australians, which is what they've been doing the whole time for, you know, the rocket bots and stuff. A 3rd Warden going down now. This is a very significant amount of static D. 4th Warden, sorry, almost 2,000 metal in static D here. It's gonna, you know, be nice against the Fiends and the rocket bots, but once those Sheldons rock up, these Wardens kind of become redundant, a little bit useless. I will see how long they can hold for once the T2 actually starts making it to the front line for the United Kingdom. They do have the shurikens, of course, but not a lot of air superiority. You can see that the United Kingdom have currently 16 fighters, whereas the Australians have 7, so they've got a lot of static AA, not quite as much fighters, and, you know, not quite as much strong ground forces. This is kind of pissing me off, this just AFK army here. We got 6,000 metal in sea army, and they could, you know, naval army, and they could really help try and force the fight here on this side. Nice trade there from Achille. Surprised the commander's not repairing all this stuff. There's no res subs here reviving or repairing. Considering that, you know, it's 4v4 and you've got someone doing axolotls here, just building everything. Praetor's kind of chilling AFK up here. You know, you got a lot of spare APM. They could be used on res bots or res subs, and, you know, repairing commanders and stuff like that to just turn the tides of the battle, or, you know, just give you that extra boost in battle to get the upper hand. Alright, looks like the Sheldons are just making their way to the front now. Eradicator on the front line. T2 is out for the Australians, and they're going double cruise missiles, missile cruisers, excuse me, to harass this position. The no AGO, just straight into a fusion. Looks like the blue team are pinging rapidly to try tell Black Vortex. Blue is pinging for green to micro this stuff and harass this area. They do have the beautiful anti-air ship out to stop any shuriken shenanigans, which is probably one of the best ways to stop these cruisers. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Anti-air bot out for Raxel here for some reason. It's interesting that they're going for a fusion first. They have a perfectly safe geo here. They definitely control this northern side of the map. I'm surprised they haven't built a normal geo. Here's the AGO finally coming up 19 minutes into the game, and that should give them the energy that they need. Unluckily for these cruisers, this one is not an AGO, which isn't surprising that they never built the AGO here. I was questioning it earlier, but I do see the error of my ways. It's going to actually be a bit of a hassle here for the United Kingdom to deal with. Especially because they're not really pressuring the sea lane. They do have T2C themselves. They are also going for double cruise, missile cruisers for the northern lane. Triple even. How many are they going? Yep, so 3 missile cruisers. Going to be more than enough to just completely harass this area up here. The Sheldons are kind of doing their work. There is an anti-radar up and an agitator has gone down. 2 of those wardens have popped already. And now it's just a war of attrition more than anything else at this point. I feel like the United Kingdom are playing less aggressive and just more sort of passive, I guess, is the best way to say it. I would say economically, but I feel like they're just not having the AGO until 20 minutes into the game. And, you know, the slow T2 transition, all that sort of stuff could have been a little bit more crisp, but it is the first round of the tournament, so these things do happen. Alright, let's see what happens here with these cruisers. They are going straight for this stuff here. Do they have any scouting? They got a little bit of scouting, nothing too crazy. They do have a radar jammer and obviously the anti-air. They're going to be targeting down the Geo, which doesn't really matter now that the AGO is up and running. The sea battle is still raging. We do have a, what's it called again? A dreadnought for the Australians. So that's going to force more T2 ships out for the United Kingdom here. Second dreadnought making its way to the front line for the Australians. Praetor actually walking onto the land here. Is in range of all these towers. He's going to blow up on top of his... Oh my god. Woo! One more shot and he would have popped on top of that that army. Oh my goodness. Praetor big chillin'. Alright, triple cruisers are going to be more than enough to just clear all this out. These cruisers here are putting in a little bit of work. They did take a fair amount of damage. I'm not even sure what from. Arbiters. Arbiters here trying to stop these missile cruisers from doing the damage. And I got a sneeze coming, baby. Alright, here come the missile cruisers for the United Kingdom. And this is a semi-significant portion of the Australian team's base. Not a whole lot of economy, but it's both of their ground-based labs, the air lab and the bot lab. Meanwhile, most of their economy is sort of down here in this geo and these titles. And they do have the T2C lab up and running. Down goes most of the shurikens there from basically a fighter scouting from Praetor. It does get a full scout of the base. They see they have basically no economy. So this is kind of the UK's game to win here. Looks like Avenger is slowly pushing back the United Kingdom through this channel with the use of the res bots. They are repairing everything with these res bots, which is a damn sight more than the UK is currently doing with res bots and commanders in that pertains to, you know, repairing and resurrecting, reclaiming, etc. Alright, here come the Maelstroms. That's what they're called, right? Yep, Maelstroms not well known for being a bulwark of an army, for being the spearhead of an army. Very much a raiding unit, super squishy, so they do have high DPS, but man, they just crumble under pressure. And these dreadnoughts, sorry, paladins, mixed in with dreadnoughts are more than enough to clear those Maelstroms out. And yeah, the United Kingdom just going into a raider slash skirmisher unit in a channel like this is a very interesting choice. I would have thought that they would have had, you know, battleships and cruisers of their own instead. Even cruiser missiles, missile cruisers would be a little bit better here than Maelstroms because not a lot of stuff moves. So like you can see here, these cruiser missile cruisers, god damn it, are just harassing this commander, but they do have the range, and if the army's AFK and stuck in a channel like this, very nice just for that consistent damage. They do finally have a missile cruiser on the front line here. Praetor is now building a vehicle lab on the ground, and there's nothing that can really stop this. This front line port is slowly getting whittled down by Axolotl and the T2 units. And yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot that the Australians can do to bring this back. They are trying once again with these missile cruisers to head over here and get some damage done. There's a nuke coming out, which is a very interesting play in a tournament like this. There's obviously no anti-nuke. They spotted that there's no anti-nuke. So once they nuke this area here, that is game over, baby. So we've still got a few minutes on this. T3 is going to be coming out. I'm assuming it's going to be Shivas on repeat. Yep. And that will be the end of the game. They have half reclaimed this lab. And now that they're out of metal again, I assume they're going to reclaim this lab fully. And once the Shivas and the nuke finish, that will be GG. So we're now playing a waiting game. Axolotl slowly pushing through here. Achille really struggling to push through here. Avenger's doing a pretty good job of defending. And he is actually sneaking all this reclaim while they're not looking, giving the Australians that boost that they desperately need. But yeah, I think all fronts, we got Praetor winning here. We got Axolotl slowly chipping away winning here. And we got Raxel just about to be that final nail in the coffin that the United Kingdom need to put the Australians away. And I'm pretty sure this is all best of one. This is the qualifiers, if I remember correctly. Bit of a rough game for the Australians to go up into first. You know, pretty low OS players in the Australians. I think Master Bell was coaching them. And, you know, they've done a pretty good job considering they've survived 25 minutes here against a fairly hefty team. Alright, here come the medium tanks. These guys might get stopped. There are shurikens here. There's some grunts and stuff here. There we go. Now the fight move comes out. Not quite enough shurikens. Not quite enough grunts. Commander is skedaddling out of there. This is the very last commander for the Australians. So he's going to go on a skit smash to the other side of the map. He's going to hide as far as he can. How far off is this nuke? We're not even halfway yet, but the Shivas are making their way out. Shivas haven't been spotted. They probably would have got that T3 spotted notification. The air is coming in for the United Kingdom. They have air superiority, they have ground superiority, and they technically have sea superiority if they decided to build more sea units, which they're not going to do because they're just busy building Shivas. Those Shivas can fight in this channel here if they do decide on their way through to the base. Alright, the final commander has been spotted and pinged. I'm not sure if the nuke's going to end the game, but it looks like the T2 has broken through for Axolotl, and now this is just, yeah, this is just game over for Shawsies. So we're just gonna watch this. We'll do this just in case we see a nuke launch. Looks like those are missile cruisers in the background. And we'll just watch this as the game ends from this angle. Hopefully it's a nice angle. It looks okay for me. Just want to be able to keep my eye back here. The nuke is over here somewhere, so we'll just keep our eye out for that if it does launch. If it doesn't launch, I mean, still be a good ending to the game from this angle because we can see everything that matters. The final commander, basically the last of the Australians' economy, and the army from the UK that looks like they're going to end it. Nice D-gun on that Centurion. We do have a single welder out, but that single welder a defense does not make. Commander cloaks and actually walks towards the Centurions, gets all of the Centurions here. Is he going to lose the T2 lab? No, he's dead. Boom, and there it is. GG. How far off was that nuke from finishing? It was almost done, so the game was going to end in seconds anyway. GG, well played to the United Kingdom. And game over. Very good try from the Australians there. Let's check out the graph real quick. Sometimes this doesn't show up on OBS for some reason. But yeah, you can see that the United Kingdom, Axolotl and Raxel from the United Kingdom were higher up than Vortex and Avenger on the economic tab there. Alright, GG, there's the first game of the qualifiers.